Welcome to Out of Memory. I'm Christopher Hampson.
And I'm AJ Hamilton.
Out of Memory is a podcast where we talk about our memories of anything from our past that we enjoyed or affected us on a molecular level, and revisit them today to see if they're worth keeping in our memories or if they're total crap.
In this first segment, we're going to take you down the rabbit hole of our fond recollections of this week's subject, and then we'll take a break.
During that time, we re-experience that media in some way or another, take a pee break, get another beer,
Sure.
And then we come back with a fresh set of eyes and fresh ideas.
I can't wait for that pee break.
Yeah. Speaking of pee, what are you drinking there, AJ?
I am drinking an Italian wine called Lady Lola.
Oh.
Why Italian, you ask?
Yeah. Why Italian?
Thank you for asking. It's because of our subject this week, Mario. Super Mario, the Italian plumber.
The early 90s
Yes.
Super Mario edition. Well, that's very astute of you to go and get some Italian wine.
It's me, Mario.
I did my best, and I'm drinking. No, not really. I'm drinking very Californian beer, Liberty Ale. So probably like the furthest you can get from like traditional anything else. However, I'm pretty sure that Mario was an Italian American.
He seemed like it. I mean, if you'd go by
Was he Italian Japanese? I don't know.
That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, if you go by the movie, he was from Brooklyn, so. You know,
that's God.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bob Hoskins was definitely not from Brooklyn. Oh, neither was John Leguizamo. A British person and a Colombian person, brothers. You know, who knows? That's up to the directors to decide.
Either way, there's snuff or cocaine involved.
Indeed.
So, Mario is a very broad and unique topic.
Indeed.
Especially with the release of their recent game, Mario Odyssey, which looks crazy.
Pretty cool, though. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while.
It has.
Yeah.
And
across many different mediums and selling many odd things.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard of video games?
I dabble.
Have you? Oh, you do.
I've been known to.
You do. Well, this was not one of the first, but it was one of the first on the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. Did you have an NES?
I did. Shortly after, kind of, I guess, tricking my father into buying me a Game Boy.
Nice.
I was lucky enough to be a kid with a Game Boy and an NES. So,
well, look at you. Yeah.
And for sure, when the Nintendo came out, I mean, there wasn't like the internet. Very few people, I think, had Nintendo, at least where I was raised. So, like, knowing what was good to play and what was not was kind of a hit or miss. I had some very odd games for Nintendo. I had like Solomon's Key and
What?
Solstice. Yeah. So, yeah, but you've never heard of them.
No.
They're okay. They're just like very super generic games. But Mario and maybe Ninja Turtles were the first Nintendo games that had like some kind of notoriety to them, or even marketing behind them that I had seen.
Yeah.
Where my friends were actually talking about it. So
Nice.
it was a very exciting thing to be able to have those games and participate in Cool Kid Talk.
I'm on the cusp. My first experience with NES was we didn't have it at my place. I think we may have had an Atari around the time that NES was coming out, and my grandfather actually got old Grandpa Hamilton got an NES, I think from a garage sale, which is crazy because why would you already get rid of it? It was very early. I remember I was like 5 or 6.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and he was like, I found this. Maybe it was an estate sale. Probably some rich video game person died. And he
all those video game people back in 1990.
Exactly, especially in San Francisco because it was the talk of the town, you know.
Especially rich ones.
Exactly. But he he got that for me, and he knew when I would get bored with grown-up talk, and then he would be like, "All right, hey, come down here. We'll set you up on the couch." It was in his workshop, and he had hooked up the only games he had. Well, the only game, which was a 2-game cartridge, was Super Mario and Duck Hunt, and I would play Duck Hunt for about 5 minutes, get pissed at the dog, and then switch over to Super Mario. So I think I was an expert at Super Mario before I even owned a Nintendo.
Yeah, for all the spin-offs that there are, there hasn't been a Nintendo Duck Hunt dog spin-off where it's just like that's the enemy you fight the whole time. No, maybe Duck Hunt was it.
So many people. Well, but you could, as hard as you shot at the screen, you could not take out that dog. I tried it a couple of times.
I will say one of, and it's a very weird thing to mention, but one of my favorite sounds throughout my life has been the sound of like pulling the trigger on that zapper. It was just such a twangy, like weird spring kind of like sound, like the puk-tang,
against the plastic inside, and that was. Do you remember? I know this is jumping, but when we're on the gun thing for video games, do you remember any of the guns or the missile launchers or the crazy stuff for like SNES, or was it just for that?
No, that's the Super Scope 6.
That's right. Yeah. That thing was awesome. I had a friend who had that.
I never had that. I never got to play with it. Was it good?
It was very difficult. Just like the advent of the wireless controllers, they were not precise.
Yeah, it's amazing they didn't make the Super Scope 7. It's funny. It's funny though that you brought that up. That your grandpa was the one that introduced you to Nintendo. I feel like that my grandpa introduced me to Nintendo also, and also had Duck Hunt Mario combo. But
nice.
he was the one that had the odd games like Solomon's Key, and Metroid, which
Metroid.
Nobody had played Metroid as far as people that I knew back in the day, but I loved the hell out of it.
Dude, I loved it too.
But he also played a shitload of Tetris also.
That is a good old classic one.
Dak. Yeah. The 90s version of digital Sudoku.
Puzzles.
Sure.
Well, let's get back to Mario, though.
Fine.
I mean, do you mind?
Yes.
Do you mind? Okay.
We can do that.
What in your mind drew you to Mario as a character, as a video game as a whole?
Sure.
What did you think about the story? Did you ever contemplate the story at all?
No. I mean, my first experience with Mario was the very first video game that I ever owned was Super Mario Land, which was on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, the only story that like can possibly be conceived from that, at least as I'm remembering it, is that you're just trying to get the princess that's been captured.
You're just running forward.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just trying not to die, really.
Yeah.
You don't have quarters you're putting in this thing, but you definitely have a set amount of lives, and it's such a pain in the ass if you die because you got to go all the way back. And Super Mario Land was not easy, being, I don't know, 7 or 8 or whatever I was when I was playing it.
Sure.
Not easy, because even the turtles, when you would jump on them, they would ball up and become like a bomb, and they would explode after a couple of seconds. It wasn't like you have a turtle shell that you can like hit out of the way.
Grab and like then throw or something like that. Like the third game. No. Yeah.
Wow. So that was my first experience with Mario. And then it feels like it kind of jumped to Mario 3 by the time like I had access to it. Of course, I played Mario 1,
sure,
and a little bit of Mario 2, but Mario 3, I mean, obviously, why would you play anything else? Like, it's just so robust, so full of secrets, and just there was no linear path to reach the ending. It's kind of like however you want to approach it.
I really loved the additional power-ups that you could do. I thought that was fascinating.
You mean how you could have like a sub menu of power ups before you start a level?
Oh no! Well, like there was the mushroom, there was the feather, the Tanuki suit, the different things like that you could have during the. I guess would you call that a power up, or what would you? call
Yeah,
that.
no, I mean, as our video game expert, yes, I would call that a power up. And no, I understand what you're saying now because Mario, 1 and 2, they have a very linear kind of power up where you go small, you get big, and then you can get a
Can
firefly.
fire, yeah, exactly,
Uh,
or
which
the
wasn't in the second
star.
game, or you can hold a big radish or something.
What, number two is so confusing. If the story of number one wasn't confusing enough, I mean, it doesn't make sense that a plumber is in this weird world and first of all isn't freaked out. Like he just seems like I gotta hit some bricks and destroy some flying turtles.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I never felt like at least just going off my memory,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ever identifying him as being a plumber
Mm-hmm.
until I had seen the cartoon. Like there's nothing about the
Yeah.
game where I mean, really, he's just wearing overalls and he goes through pipes. But
Sure.
I mean, he doesn't have a plunger.
No.
He doesn't have a wrench or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't see him dealing with fecal matter at all.
Well, you
Seemingly, I don't
we
know.
don't
The
really
Goomba is
see
pretty much a walking turd.
we don't really see what is happening in between the top and the bottom of the pipes. That's the thing.
There's a lot of butt crack that happens in between those that they just didn't bother to show you.
Oh, good lord. Yeah. Why would they include the plumber thing, the plumber aspect, and then just sort of put pipes into this world? Is that why he was drawn to that world? Is he a plumber in that world, and that means something different from our world as a plumber?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I mean, plumbers are magical, so they can just
Yeah.
pass through pipes like that.
That's so
And I
true.
think that's kind of the key there. Also, their diet mainly consists of leaves and mushrooms and flowers,
And a hoagie once in a while.
and definitely a hoagie. Yeah, I mean, Mario never looked like a fit character.
But
I guess
Luigi
that makes
did.
him a plumber. He's just unfit wearing overalls. Plumber. Got it.
But then
I mean, the earliest recollection that I could have of him being like a plumber is
Yeah.
from the cartoon because he's like him and Luigi. I think are plunging a bathtub for some reason. It gets sucked down.
probably, well, the person that is using that is probably a very hirsute person, a very very hairy fellow or lady, and
Sure.
and so it just goes down there. They need to get that clog out of there. You know,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Clog is named King Koopa or sometimes Bowser. I don't understand like where that transition happened.
Who-
But
yeah.
it was Koopa for some time and
Well,
then Bowser.
is it Bowser Koopa? Because first of all, how many
5.
Okay, cool. How many of the games or how many of the platforms or of media are they named Mario, Mario, and Luigi Mario? Is it just the stupid movie?
I only heard the Mario in the movie.
In
and
the
I feel
movie,
like that
right?
was just a stupid writing joke.
That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know. The movie. Oh, the movie, man. That's sort of where I got the idea that he had been torn out of one world and then thrown into another. But yeah, thinking about it now, I don't think that it was ever explained that way as in the games or anything like that. It never was like, I have to get back to my place of living. He's a person in the Mushroom Kingdom just as much as everybody else is.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, he's just a Mushroom Kingdom
Sure.
plumber.
Sure.
And I guess in that realm that means hero or something, or just like
Da-da-da.
jumper on of heads.
Yeah. Do you remember? Okay, so there were 2 cartoon shows, right? There were 2, morning shows.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like there was maybe one that kind of had some variance to it.
Okay.
The Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Super show.
Super. And
Super cool.
I think there was like Super Mario Brothers, and then sometimes there was like that kind of half episode, like in between, where either it was like an episode of The Legend of Zelda or
Oh
Captain
yeah,
N.
that's right.
Yeah, but like as strange as the Super Mario Brothers Super Show was, with
Mm-hmm.
not only the live action Ron Jeremy looking host
Oh,
that kind of
yeah.
introduces you, but and the show just being completely bonkers, which is absolutely accurate to Mario 3,
Yeah,
where just
yeah.
like shit doesn't make sense. There's question boxes flying around, and just you get a leaf, and now you're a raccoon tail.
What a
Uh,
horrifying place.
it is a horrifying place. It really is. I guess unless you're cool with that.
I mean, I guess you're raised with that. Speaking of the Ron Jeremy looking dude, he was that guy's name was Lou Albano,
Of course,
or Captain Lou,
Captain Lou.
as some people knew him. Yes, he and Bob Hoskins, the guy who played Mario in the movie, actually died within the last 10 years.
Yes,
It's
God
it's,
rest his soul.
it's very sad. Both of their
Yes.
souls.
Uh,
I mean, unless you don't care about the other guy, is that what you want our listeners to know?
Of course not. Just Bob Hoskins obviously
Oh.
holds a special place in, I think, a lot of people's hearts.
Oh,
'Cause he was
absolutely.
also in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
And Hook,
I didn't know he was in Hook.
he was Smee.
No way.
He was Smee.
God damn it.
Smee's
Really?
me.
Oh, Smee's me.
Smee's me.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
man. Okay, that's amazing.
Can you
Okay,
believe
yes,
that?
obviously he was a hallmark of the 90s.
Absolutely. He's amazing. But yeah, also Lou Albano was actually in the WWE, if you can believe that.
Who was he in the WWE?
I have no idea. He was somebody. Maybe that's where the Captain Lou thing came from. I haven't done any research.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, to preserve the format of this show,
Indeed.
we're just trying to pull from memory in the first part, and the second part will actually do some research and bring something that's credible to the table.
Exactly.
But AJ, what do you remember about the show? Did you ever
Well,
watch it?
Yeah, I'm sure I watched it. It was the framing device that a lot of shows did at the time. It would have live action things, and then it would cut to a cartoon of some. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of ish like Krusty the Clown and Itchy and Scratchy, where he does something crazy, and then he cuts to a cartoon, and it comes back to him.
It was also a cartoon.
Well, you've got me there. I remember more graphically the live action things rather than the cartoons. Weirdly, because the cartoons all sort of went together and seemed like it was very formulaic in the way that they would get into some trouble because of Bowser, and then at the end of it they would come back. Do you remember any of the storylines from any of those shows?
No, hell no. I honestly, like, I remember some of the like transformations, like them hitting a box and like getting a leaf and stuff in weird moments. Like, I feel like it was just kind of like, well, they need to get out of this situation, so a box is nearby.
Of course, naturally, Deus Ex Machina everywhere.
Sure.
Of course,
No, I don't
Day and
remember.
Xboxia.
Honestly, I don't remember very much from the Mario Super Show portion of it, but I
Okay.
do remember a lot of Captain N. I don't know why it sticks out, but Captain N, if you don't remember, was basically just a dude that had he would, I think, get sucked into like his Nintendo or whatever, and his belt would be the Nintendo controller, and he had the power glove, and he had a zapper, and he would travel around with some of the Nintendo characters like Mega Man and I think Link, and they would fight some of the other Nintendo villains like Mother Brain and like I think King Hippo from Punch Out. It was
Oh my
such
God.
a weird and forced mashup.
And was this on the show?
This is on the show. Yeah,
Oh
and
my
there
God.
was some chick that he was with. I don't know if she was like a video game character, like a Princess Peach kind of character, or if this was just like some girl that would tag along with him. But
Sure.
she would get in trouble, and he would have to rescue her.
Oh
And
man.
so, like, Donkey Kong would be throwing barrels or whatever, and he would have to like hit the power pad on his belt that was the Nintendo controller to like give himself like more agility to jump over barrels or some crap like that.
Wow.
Super forced, very very forced.
Oh my God.
But I remember more of that than the Mario Super Show, especially
That's-
because like the villains were super crazy. Like Mother Brain, who was this terrifying force in Metroid,
Yeah.
was this like really flamboyant, bumbling kind of villain. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. Look it up. It's on YouTube. It's
Oh
awful.
yeah.
Actually, don't look it up. It's not worth your time.
Well, then I won't.
It's almost amazing that the Mario franchise survived the early 90s era just because it goes from the games, which got from okay to really great,
Yeah,
and then immediately goes into the show, which I'm sure helped to popularize it, but were
sure.
awful. And then you go to the movie, which I think nobody came away from saying like that was great. I'll always remember every part of that, and I'm really taking this to heart. And now I'm going to be a plumber.
If I remember correctly, and not in my jaded, horrible 2017 brain, I don't think I liked it much. I don't. Well, let me take that back. I think I liked aspects of it because I remember having the toys from the movie.
Sure.
I had the toys, and they had little feet, and I think they had a plumber's van.
I think they had like some kind of like crazy like DeLorean car.
Oh God, it was the police car that they stole.
Yeah.
That's right. And they had the Goombas, and they had like a
Did they have
they had
giant dudes with like little tiny lizard heads?
something real weird, man. I didn't.
Really weird.
I actually think. Oh wow, I think I had all of the action figures, maybe except for Ziggy or
That
Spike or
doesn't
something like
surprise
that.
me.
Of course I did. But Koopa, played by, what was his name? He was
What is his name?
he's a very famous
Dennis Hopper. It was
Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper.
Amazing performance.
Fisher Stevens is in it, for God's sake. Like, I just found this out from my roommate, who is a huge movie music fan. Alan Silvestri, the guy who did Back to the Future and Romancing the Stone and Forrest Gump's soundtracks. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I mean, there's so many different movies that he's done, and it's ridiculous that he was pulled onto this one. But with Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper, heading a movie, you'd think that would be fantastic. So why question it? Oh, that would, but no, I don't know how this. I guess that people didn't put too much cross-platform pressure on things back in the day. They were like, oh well, this is a piece of shit movie, but I still like the games. The games are solid, and it doesn't withdraw. It's not like they went back to the games and were like, let's design it like John Leguizamo instead. They stuck with the designs and everything like that. Kind of like what Avengers are doing now with the comic books. They're sort of reverse engineering to be like Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans or something weird stuff like that. But
I think that makes sense. I mean, because the movies kind of seem like finally the perfect medium to kind of get those Marvel characters across.
Oh, I agree.
But if we take an examination of Mario, it almost seems like video games is kind of the perfect medium for that to exist in, and it just gets worse the further you get from that TV, movie, live action play. It doesn't work. Let's stop the bleed, because the movie, I think, consumed enough good talent into what it intended to be. And I feel like even like trying to remember like watching the movie, I feel like I was really trying to like it a lot, and it was very strange.
You try to put connections together, and you're like, I will give you that they can't make them little innocent tiny turtles. Like, that actually is weird to do for a live action movie. But then they make the whole world has nothing to do with the world, the mushroom world of any of the video games. It hasn't been corrupted exactly by the Koopas in visually in the world. So I don't know. It's very hard to see the knockoff Blade Runner type world. What was the ending of it? Wasn't all of the goo all over town?
That was the king? Yeah, that
Yeah.
giant like ball sack of like
Oh
fungus
God.
that came down at the end. That was the king,
Yeah.
and whoever the king actually is, I
Right.
don't know who it is.
And they
But
they
it's almost like they took Mario and they're like, okay, let's make this uh, real world and edgy and take a huge page out of like Tim Burton's Batman.
Oh yes, yes, very much so.
Yeah, it's like, and okay, well, the Mushroom Kingdom is not the Mushroom City. You know what I'm saying?
There was a character named Toad in it, and he was the busker at the beginning of the movie that, or not the
Awful.
beginning, but when they get into the world and they get kidnapped, who gets like mutated into the first Koopa
Cuba.
that they see, which
Uh,
is real weird to me.
that is really really weird.
I
Did they give him a harmonica?
Yes,
He
they
was like a
did
special
exactly.
Goomba.
Video game movies quite a lot of times don't work out.
Yeah,
You know, actually,
I've seen some movies get close.
yeah, yeah.
None of them hit the mark of the game. I mean, it's like taking a book, I guess, and trying to turn it into a movie. You're compacting it so much, and
Yeah,
also giving it one person's like spin on it, who's probably never had a real like interaction with it. So you're set
that's
up
very
for a
true.
failure at that point.
Yeah, it's like somebody read the cliff notes of a lot of these things, saw a couple of images from the game, and we're like, yeah, I guess I can invent something about that. Can we get Michael Fassbender? Sure,
Yeah,
why
yeah,
not?
right. Let's have him play the flute. That'll work.
Stupid. Uh,
All right. So what we remember was progressively dumber and dumber. I mean, the game's excellent.
but again, yeah, I absolutely love World. Yoshi is a fantastic addition to this whole world. I think I don't know why I'm talking about him specifically, because Mario and Luigi are a great lead character. I really do enjoy the evolution that they've gone through. But
But
then
they don't have there's no connection between them in the games that you play though. I mean,
that
it's
is
really just
weird.
it's only player one, player two, and different
Yeah,
colors between them.
that's so true.
There's
Yeah,
no partnership, but you get that with Yoshi because you actually like you ride around on him. I mean, he's basically kind of I guess just a utility that you pick up, but
yeah.
I don't know. He's
But you feel
alive.
like
He craps out some eggs every once in a while to
well,
eat enough dudes.
and when you're on him, it feels like you're controlling him and not Mario at that
Yeah,
point, right? You know,
totally.
and
It's a different feel.
which led to gosh, what Yoshi's Island, which was okay.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because
Yeah,
that doesn't try to be like Super Mario World 2. It really does try
yeah,
to be its own thing. It's a completely different art style and gameplay.
beautiful art style. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know that
Almost
was
like Crayola, like backgrounds and
yeah,
like
like a
scenery.
child's drawing almost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool. I don't know. It's very unique.
yeah. I guess I had heard that the creator of Mario had been unhappy with the look of Donkey Kong Country. Like it was
Interesting.
too CG, not CGI. What am I trying to say?
Like claymation.
Maybe claymation. Maybe just he didn't like the computer generated graphics, I guess. And he wanted it to look warmer, and I get that. But I just love seeing different interpretations on the screen. Can you choose a favorite game? Do you think it's 3 for you?
I mean, 3 I probably played the most,
Yeah,
and it just has the most, I don't know, mystique around it. I'd
yeah.
even say, even with all the knowledge of the secrets out there, like
Hmm.
I don't think everybody typically knows all the secrets. I'm still like, I'll watch a speed run of Mario 3, or
Yeah,
I'll read something on it. I'm still
sure.
impressed by some things that like people are diving way into the code to figure out.
Yeah, the detail that the game creators put in it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
absolutely.
forward thinking. That's incredible that people are still talking about it 30 years later.
Even though I don't have my original cartridge
Hmm.
of Mario 3, I had to rebuy it.
Yeah.
I do have the original box that it came in.
Ooh.
Yeah, just like that iconic raccoon Mario flying with like the super bright yellow
The
background,
yellow,
just
yes.
Mario 3. Like the day that came home, I will never forget that because I was so excited to have that and play that, and we played the crap out of it.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I remember hours and hours sitting there playing. I wish that I had. I don't think you and I knew each other yet. But I wish I had had somebody to play the Luigi part, back and forth with, because it is a shame that you can't play dual players in the same. What am I trying to say?
Like the
Same
same frame.
level, same
Yeah,
level,
yeah.
same frame.
Well,
Yeah.
the Nintendo did do that in on the Wii. I don't know if you ever played
Oh.
like the new Super Mario Brothers, where you could play up to 4 people
Oh wow.
in the same level on the same frame. But
Jesus.
it was challenging and kind of hilarious in that you could really screw over the other people. Where like if you're all jumping for the same platform, you could like bounce off someone's head and like
Oh
they
no.
would fall into the pit and you would make it.
Oh man, I never had a Wii. Actually, I think I was going to. Maybe I was in college. Maybe I just couldn't afford it. I don't remember what prevented me from like making that jump from whatever was before that to. I actually got away from NES after like Nintendo 64. I think,
Yeah.
oddly, But no, that sounds awesome. I miss. I hear some great. I've played Super Smash Brothers at other people's houses and stuff like that. That stuff is super fun.
That's such a weird mashup. But
It is a very odd thing.
it's
of all.
surprising that it even works.
I mean, they're just using everything they possibly can, every licensing thing that they possibly can to get an awesome game going. But yeah, it's that's what the one that you were talking about with the Wii reminded me of, because you're just jumping around as 4 different people. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is fun. It's definitely challenging, and maybe why it didn't like go much further than the Wii U.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
there's Nintendo is very good, I think, at marketing their IP.
Oh yeah.
Not only kind of extrapolating these iconic characters, but also turning them into some spin-offs.
Yeah.
Even like ones that you wouldn't expect, like Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah.
Like that was a old arcade game with just Donkey Kong was the enemy throwing
Right.
barrels. Like to make that jump from that to Donkey
To
Kong
a whole
Country
family?
is
Yeah.
crazy. And
That was one of
surprising
my
it did
favorite.
so well.
That was one of my favorite games, actually.
Yeah.
Like that was the first like 360-degree game that I really remember playing. I know there was like not Banjo Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, and
yeah.
stuff like that, similar to that at the time. But goddamn, that
But
was
even
really
Crash
cool.
Bandicoot was a very rough game. Like I'm
Yeah.
replaying the refinished version of that, the Insane trilogy, and
Oh,
it's
cool.
like they maintain a lot of like the rough edges of it, and it's really hard. Donkey Kong Country is kind of one of those games where it's easy enough where you could finish it if you
Yeah.
were like even just a decent player, spend enough time on it.
Sure.
But it still has like a lot of secrets to it, and
So much
like, there's different
detail.
ways you can kind of go about it. So
Yeah.
that's fun. That was fun about Nintendo.
Hell yeah.
That is what I loved about it, was that there was just in a lot of these games there wasn't one way to do it. You
Yeah.
could cheat if you want to, like with Contra, you could do 30 lives. But
Yeah. Should we tell them what we're gonna be looking at, or should that be a surprise for after the break?
No, let's we can clue them in. Oh Jesus Christ, I'm looking at this Captain N action figure that you posted on here. Holy crap.
It's amazing. He has the power glove.
It's horrifying. It looks like Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3 wearing a Letterman jacket and like a very
Sad Toby.
a very phoned in Zapper and Nintendo belt and power glove.
Maybe that's what I dressed up as, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, it does kind of look like you, I guess. Now you're playing
Yeah.
with power. Now you're dressing with power.
Yeah.
So
With a big N.
we're gonna take a break. What we'll do is we're gonna check out Mario's on the NES, maybe a little bit of the SNES. We're gonna watch a clip of the potentially awful show, and even more awful movie.
Dennis Hopper. I'm so excited. So excited to see him chewing the scenery.
I just remember that Yoshi was like a real dinosaur.
He was like a
in that,
raptor,
which is,
right?
Which is fine, but he was like
Makes
a
sense.
baby dinosaur. And they're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, just don't thrash around because he'll bite your fucking hand off. Like,
That's
oh
not a-
god. Well, how am I
that's not
supposed
a
to ride around with him? This is just not a
cute
good Yoshi.
thing. That's awful.
It's really awful.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
right.
I have to pee. So we'll be back after this.
Out of memory.
All right, and we are back in the tubes. We're back
Wow.
down those pipes.
Those pipes with all the Goombas and turtles and Koopas.
And bombs.
But bomb bombs.
Bomb. How is it spelled? It's like
It's
bomb.
ba-bomb.
Bomb-oms. I
Yeah,
thought.
all right.
I don't know.
But it's
Bombs
okay.
sounds great. I love that. But I just
Fine.
remember
Bonbons.
Bob-omb. Like
Bomb.
Bobomb. Like his name is Bob. And he's unarmed.
No,
But
I don't think so.
don't know.
Bob-omb?
Bob-omb?
Well,
Don't know.
We didn't, but should have researched that. I guess.
Fans call us in, rip us apart. Please let us know. So we came back and we played some of the game. We watched some of the cartoon and the movie, and my goodness, a wide range of reactions we've had.
Well, shucks howdy. I think that
Gee whiz.
some of our predictions, I think, were spot on.
Yes.
In alignment with what we were remembering. But let's start with just the games.
Let's break it down.
To make things easy. Definitely, I feel like still the high point and the most consistent feel to this genre. Just they're very strong.
Yeah.
Mario's 1, 2, and 3. Very, very nice progression of things.
And I actually love the differences in style. The break. I know that the second one isn't necessarily canon. However,
In America.
you want to include it, but it isn't just this more of the same. You know,
Well,
I think
yes,
that's
and
actually
in Japan when they released Mario 2. I mean, it was
Yeah.
pretty much exactly Mario 1.
I'm sure.
just with some enhancements and probably some more difficulty. And the American market had denied that version and wanted something that was different and more consumer friendly. So they actually ported a game called Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, which is why it's so sharply contrast from the first one, where there's flying carpets and all the
Yeah.
characters have kind of weird abilities. Like Luigi can do this weird like floaty run in the air, and Princess
Peach
Peach
can
kind
just
of, like,
float
yeah, she
for a
floats.
while. Yeah,
And the introduction of a Toad as a player.
playable character. Yeah,
Yeah, and there's weird things like radishes and beanstalks and just a whole slew of different characters. We get introduced to Shy Guy and these
yeah.
weird stars.
Oh, and they
but-
bird person. No, not bird person. Birdo.
Yeah,
Birdo?
yeah, Birdo, and the boss isn't even like there's very little effort that was made to make this a actual like Mario port, except for like the main characters. No, that's it. It was just the main characters, because even like the life system, there's hearts in it. There's
Right.
There's potions and crap that you get. It's completely obtuse. The only reason that it can be included as canon, I think, is Mario 3 kind of pulls from the success of Mario 2 or the Yumi Kojo Doki Doki.
Keep
'Cause
saying
it brings
that.
it. Yeah, I know it is fun
So
to say.
fun to say.
I had to practice it.
Yeah.
But it pulls a lot of that into Mario 3 and kind of solidifies it. And we see a lot of those characters carried forward into later iterations. We see Birdo in like Mario Kart and Mario Party.
Right.
Shy Guy is a more solidified character. And also, the games just get way crazier.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean the puzzles and the challenges, the maps are so in depth. I was just, when we were watching one of the episodes of Super Mario World, there was a part where they were crawling along a wall of fences, like see-through fences. And I remembered that you could crawl along and there would be little doors that could flip you to the other side. And that was practically three-dimensional at the time.
Yeah,
Like, you
that
could
was
be
from
on the
the
other
Super
side of it?
Nintendo version, Super Mario World.
That was
and you
fascinating.
could flip that door and you could smack turtles off the opposite
On the other side, yeah, yeah. But no, it just kept getting better and better.
Well, and I think that the Mario franchise might not have done so well if they hadn't have ported over Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, just because that broke the mold of a lot of games where Mario Brothers is super linear. You had very, very few opportunities to bypass levels. Like you could warp to different areas.
Sure.
But you didn't have that option to complete single levels in different ways, where Mario 2 kind of introduced that with uh, different pipes, and you could use potions that would take you to that shadow world, and there'd be secret doors and keys and whatnot.
Yeah.
It kind of it broke that mold, and I think that Mario 3 really took that to heart, and that might have been why it was such a smash hit, was because there was no one way to complete this game. There was like 100.
Well, that was the difference from one to any of the other ones, is that you got to see where you were going. Was that in 2 or was that in 3?
No, that was in 3 where they
Yeah.
first introduced that map.
Yeah, and I loved that. That gave you a sense of the world. It gave you a sense that you weren't just going one direction. You know, it wasn't just a straight through. It was, giving you a chance to breathe. Could you save in the third one?
No, you couldn't save, but you could sure as hell just turn off your TV and let your Nintendo overheat for a couple of days. And then come back
Indeed,
to it.
I'm sure I did that.
But
Absolutely.
that's a great point though. Is that in Mario 3, yeah, you do get that introduction to a bigger view than just the actual level that you're on, and that introduced a lot of options as well, different routes to levels, secrets,
Yeah.
different strategies. You could use a hammer to break a boulder and bypass like a Hammer Brothers stage.
Yeah. Well,
Then-
yeah, exactly. I mean, that is akin to the beginning of the of Pokemon, where you can interact with your open air environment,
Yeah,
kind of, with the HP cut and different stuff like that.
no, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the amount of secrets in Mario 3 is insane.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of what are we talking about? What kind of things did we have?
Well, I think that there's common ones like you could on white blocks you could hold down, or you could fall behind them, and you could almost walk behind characters and scenery, and that would give you options to get into secret areas and get like things like warp whistles, where you could bypass entire like sections of the game, like 3 levels at a time.
Yeah.
If you do it on the right stage. But there's also crazier ones where you if you have, God, I don't even know if I'm explaining this right, but there's a money boat that appears
Okay.
if you have like the right numbers in your score, and I think it has something to do with also the coins that you have. There's a series of things you have to do, but as long as they align perfectly, a money boat will appear, and it's just a stage where it's like a scroller where you just get coins for this entire stage.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
There's also tons of cheats to that game. If you
Yeah.
can kind of glitch out, if you can shove yourself into a block that you're really not supposed to fit into, it kind of pushes you through the stage, and you a lot of times can bypass a lot of the level and just get straight to the end of the level.
What the heck?
Yeah, a lot of really, really interesting speedruns, especially some that are played by a computer program
Oh.
that they can do things that you can't, like press up and down or left and right at the same time.
Sure.
And that kind of glitches out the game. So you see a lot of crazy things. And a lot of times
Jeez.
the game gets beaten in like 15 minutes.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the interesting thing is I never, not that I was necessarily a completionist at the time, but I didn't want the easiest way to solve the game. I know I've seen a bunch of these speed throughs where, especially in the first one, you can beat Super Mario Brothers the original in about 5 minutes. If you use the warp tunnels, you can from the first level you can go to the 4th world, and then from the 4th world's first level you can go to the 8th world by the secret ways of getting in there. It's but I am so glad that I didn't know. Like, I think I accidentally found out about some of that sometimes, but I really wanted to experience all of those levels. I wanted to experience the challenges, and I don't think I would be as good at games in this day if I hadn't played through it all, because there are those challenges of a lot of video games that kind of run through all of the worlds.
Sure.
all types of video games.
Well, I mean, you had kind of mentioned one of the biggest factors of our day of playing Nintendo, and some of Super Nintendo. But it's just that there wasn't that insulation of being able to save.
But anyway, what did we think about the video game, or not the video game, the video game?
I thought it was great.
Cartoon.
The cartoon. So
Like the live action.
having what I mentioned that I had remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some rough points, like it being live action. I was surprised that the live action part had a special guests and laugh tracks, but
Yeah.
surprisingly, it was pretty funny actually.
I mean, it's not the classic comedy, but it is kind of those type of why I oughta, you
Yeah,
silly, a straight guy and a comedy guy, and it's not bad, not less bad than I thought it was going to be.
less bad. Yeah,
Less
the
bad.
animation was pretty good, I would say,
It was
for the
solid.
time. I've seen worse.
Oh
I've seen
yes,
worse.
yeah.
I think that the most confusing thing is
Mhm.
just the format of the show, and it seemed like it changed very rapidly. Being that there was a Super Mario show, then there was Super Mario and Captain N, who was also a live action child, I guess, that got pulled into the computer world to help Princess like Lana or something.
Princess Lana, sure, yeah.
Yeah, Princess Lana, and fight like various Nintendo villains, and also team up
Like
with
Mother Brain, right?
Mother Brain and
Who-
King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard.
Who was one-eyed, by the way. I just want to
Yeah.
put that out. Also, Mother
Really shout out to emojis.
Mother Brain was the voice of Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. How cool is that? That's a
That's-
pretty good catch on my part. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, I think, and
No,
watching through it, I think we found a couple of other big voice acting names that were on the show that went on to do great things.
Yeah,
like Beast Wars.
I think Gary Chalk was the voice of, who did you say? Not the wizard, but the other guy,
King Hippo.
Hippo.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Frank Welker was on that as Game Boy. Game Boy was just a character.
Yeah,
Sure.
they just kept adding odd bastardized versions of characters, like you mentioned, Game Boy, who
Oh God!
who
And
would kind of speak like a computer, and then sometimes like his screen would kind of morph into like a bat or a weapon.
oh, of course. And
But
then
also
there,
just, like Simon Belmont, who was just an egotistical, I don't know, just a chauvinistic pig.
He was-
Mega Man, who sounded like a little chain smoking. I don't know what you call it.
I don't know,
imp.
just angry imp. Yeah, I mean he eventually went on to be a pterosaur, Doug Parker. So that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, they were not great. Like as examples of people or heroes, it didn't seem like they were great role models.
No,
You know,
no,
I don't know.
I think it was perfect for that era of child's cartoons with gentrified characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
served up
and,
nice
and like
and neat for the American public.
yeah, and the worse that the established heroes were, the more that they needed that 14-year-old kid to come in and save them, because obviously you would need that naturally.
There weren't as many like 90s words that were dropped in there as I thought, like radical or tubular.
Maybe that was before all of those things became really, really popular, and then ruined it.
Yeah.
Who the heck knows? Yeah.
Speaking of ruining it,
Ruined
segue to the movie.
The movie. Oh no, what are you
The
talking about? That's my favorite part of this.
God, it is just as bad as I remember, except that I didn't have that feeling of hopefulness while watching it, of like, well, maybe it'll get better, because I knew that it just really wasn't
Maybe
going
it'll
to get better.
all tie in, and the last 5 minutes will make sense.
Let's just put it this way. Like, what did you find surprising about rewatching the movie that you liked?
Actually, some of the little gadgets and stuff I kind of like. I kind of like the boots. Those are sort of fun. If not, I mean, obviously unneeded, because they tried to explain too many things. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of good things that I liked.
And I think that might have been
John Leguizamo's funny.
The first mistake was try to explain things, because Mario explains nothing.
No.
It's just crazy, and just shut up and deal with it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is I wanted it to just be a world that is accepted, that these are the physics and these are the bad guys and good guys, but they really spent a hell of a lot of time with the pseudoscience and the pseudo. They're talking about multiple dimension theory and all this weird stuff. And when the dinosaurs died, it split the dimension into two dimensions, and one with I don't know. There's stuff that I just don't get. I mean, no,
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't need to. I didn't need to know it. What did you think?
I mean, I totally agree with that. I think the one thing that I did like, if I'm to start with that, is
please.
that you talked about like like a meteor splitting the worlds into two dimensions.
Yeah.
And if this one was that dinosaurs went on to evolve into people instead of apes.
Yeah.
And one thing that we saw was that everything was run on like electricity or some other like means of power. There were
Yeah.
no fossil fuels. I thought that was kind of an interesting take on it.
Yeah, because but also, then where did we get ours? If I guess we didn't take all of they only took the living dinosaurs over to their world. We still had the millions and millions of years of dead dinosaurs on our world, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Supposedly.
Yeah, sure, but no, I do enjoy that theory because that is very deep. If they're running on electricity, that means that their whole world is just they talk about it sort of. He says, look at this. It's just one small city block or whatever, and then the rest of it is dust.
Yeah, it's almost like the world
or
was
desert
destroyed to them, but like there was like a small a part of the planet that like was survived, or I don't know.
And I like that in 65 million years of evolution, they have circumnavigated the globe because globes are still a thing.
Yeah.
In their world, and they just made that one city on top of the globe, which is the rest of it is just dust. It's great. It's exactly how our world would have. I like the fact that even though we started in two different places, dinosaurs evolved into incredibly human-looking things.
Sure.
And then they say, "Ha, I'm going to turn you into a monkey." Well, wow, we are very, very close.
How do you know about monkeys? Anyway, I really don't want to spend too much time on the movie
I know.
because I don't think it's worth talking about.
It's really not.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they took Mario and they were like, okay, let's make it realistic, and they gave it almost like a Batman kind of movie version.
Well,
of
you
it,
were
like
you were
like
giving
a Tim
a
Burton
good
or a Schumacher like city version.
You gave a great example of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it feels
the
exactly
Judge Dredd
like
format
that.
is very like that, where they get pulled into the city.
Yep.
The city is crazy. Then they get kicked out and they're in the desert for a while, and then they come back and they save the day in a very violent way.
And the goo, just the goo at the end.
Yeah, it's just
Such a shame for everybody.
If I had to
involved.
describe the movie in a word, I would say unsatisfying.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everything that I love about Mario is just like everything is reduced to a strange, more realistic version of it. Like the bullet bills are small, and they use them in the boots for like jumping, which I guess is kind of a cool application. But still, bullet bill is cool because it's just a giant fucking bullet with a face that you got to get out of the way of.
Well, and apparently you can just distract Goombas with music, any type of music. That is a horrible character flaw for your badass army of weirdos. You know,
I feel
that's
like I would have
not
liked
great.
it better, or it might have had a cult following if this was not a Mario branded movie. They could have done the exact same thing, same characters, just not use the Mario outfit colors at the end, and not use like the franchise items like the Bob-omb and the bullet. And it's pretty much from that point on a very clean movie.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
without any kind of Mario branding.
Sort of like an existence or one of those. Yeah, like a Equilibrium. It's the franchise. They're trying to make some money off of that. I say just come up with some original ideas, because there actually are some original ideas in this movie. Like you say, it could have
Sure.
been its own thing.
I would say that most of it is its own thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not that they were tied to the Mario franchise, which apparently they had, the scriptwriter had purchased for like $2,000 for like
Holy
the
crap.
franchise rights to like use Mario in this, and he's barely in it.
Yeah,
It also went through 4 script rewrites,
of course.
and
of course.
they were considering Danny DeVito as
Oh.
Mario.
I mean, a little shorter. Yeah, I can see it. Maybe
Little more disgusting.
Well, now I think you're thinking of Frank from It's Always Sunny in
I
Philadelphia.
can't not think of
I
Frank
know,
or
I know.
Penguin.
Or Penguin. Yeah, no, you're right. He's a weird little man. Yeah, the movie is disappointing again.
We did find a nice Easter egg in there, though, that the de-evolution gun was actually a
Yes.
Super Nintendo Super Scope 6.
Oh, hell yeah, it was.
That's a really cool little shout out.
That was brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? I'm sure around that time, '93, they were trying to pump it out. I just, how do you promote it other than that? You really can't.
No.
You can't say, "Man, I bet this would be great in a video game." Kids,
I'm
go
pretty
out
sure-
and buy it.
I'm pretty sure the script was written and maybe even into pre-production. They were like, I guess it doesn't matter. Also, I think you told me that 2 weeks later, Jurassic Park came out.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean,
Crushing it.
just crushing it, and also emboldening people with their excitement about dinosaurs. This didn't kill it. That's good. That's excellent. I don't know. I'm gonna say no more talk about the movie unless there's something desperate.
No.
Oof, God,
No.
dumb
Yeah,
movie.
I don't think there's another reason to keep talking about this at all. No.
So that movie was bad. Oh wait. Oh shit. You know what? What I love is
The movie.
damn it, we've both done it. I love thinking about, like, if you overthink this land and whatever, like the people in the movie did. Oh, I did it again. You come up with a lot of weird stuff because it is a bizarre world on its face already. You know, I mean, a mushroom makes this guy grow bigger. You know, drugs are bad, kids. Don't do drugs.
Sure, I've heard that used even in a more recent article. I think from like 2015. It's like, oh well, it's a drug reference from a popular song. I think it's called like White Rabbit or something like that.
Sure.
Like, one pill makes you bigger. One pill makes you smaller. Which
Well, and that was based on
I'm pretty sure that was Alice in Wonderland.
about Alice in Wonderland. Exactly. Yeah.
There's no mushroom that makes you smaller.
It just makes you trippier.
Yeah.
That's all. And that's fun. I've heard.
The game has also drawn a lot of other heat from skeptics.
Yeah.
Being that, you know, not only drug references, but also weird things that I think are, I guess, more kind of fan theory or anti-fan theory. Like the mushrooms are actually decapitated mushroom people.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh
And that Mario
Jesus.
is eating them.
Well, and that the coins, I've heard that the coins are souls, because in the this is weird, in the instruction manual or the Super Mario Brothers plot explanation says the Super Mario's takes place in Mushroom Kingdom. The game begins with a tribe of turtle-like race known as the Koopa Troopas invading the kingdom and using the magic of its king Bowser to turn its inhabitants into inanimate objects such as bricks. So whenever you are breaking a brick, that was a person. So that's kind of horrifying if you go into it like that. I don't like that. I mean, what then what does that make everything else?
I mean, already the Mario series is a weird acid trip.
It is.
I would also ask, what is Mario's head made of where he can bust up bricks?
Well, they're made of people. They're not very strong bricks.
So those aren't like rock chunks. They're just like meat chunks flying around.
I guess so. Well, that's the thing. That's the funny thing. Okay, I hate that I'm going to do this, but I can't believe they didn't include a power glove in the movie, because I imagine that if you jumped up, because it's not him hitting it with his head in the game, it's him hitting it with he's like punching it, I always thought. And like, that's the only way you could break a brick is with like a powerful glove of some sort. So you're including more of your merchandise, unless Power Gloves came out later. I don't remember.
No,
about that time.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, because it was in
Power Glove was for the original Nintendo.
Captain N. Yeah. No, it's an odd world.
I also found a fan theory, or anti-fan theory, drawing heat to the Mario series, saying that Mario is like an allegory for Joseph Stalin, because he's like big mustachio and wearing red.
Wow. And
I think that's a stretch.
I've also heard the same thing, where Wario is actually very American for some reason. I don't remember the exact comparisons, but I think it was because he was fat.
Oh, great.
Pretty sure that's. Also, I've heard that Wario was actually just a stalker fan of Mario, and that's why he became obsessed with him and decided, I want to follow him. I want to be like.
I like that a lot, actually.
I want to be like you, man.
I kind of want that to be true.
He's just a nerd who played too much of the Mario games and then got sucked into the Mario games. Wasn't Wario first in those red glasses? What were the red glass thing?
You're talking about Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
I believe that Wario debuted as the main antagonist of Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy.
Okay.
He's the final boss. But there was he was also in Virtual Boy games, which was a weird console in itself.
Well, they haven't gotten back to it until
I don't know.
Can't imagine. I mean, there's a couple of theories that blend together that the only time that any of the games were technically real was the first one. And then the second one is considered a dream of some sort about the first one, which is why it is so different and incorporates so many different odd things. And then the third one is a stage play put on, incorporating both the dream and the first game in a way that that pays homage to the heroics of Mario and how good of a leader Peach is.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
And it actually is, because there is not only stage and curtain imagery in the second one. There is a lot in the third one, and as you run off of any of the levels, you sort of go into this quote-unquote off-stage area that's all black with white writing, and it kind of reminds me of, do you remember in cartoons where they would be chasing each other and then they would like run off the cell?
Of course.
And then they'd be like,
Chuck
whoops,
Jones.
and then they'd like back onto the cell. I absolutely love that. That's kind of what this reminds me of.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
I hope that is. I hope there is some truth behind that.
Did you find
also? I always find it confusing. Princess Peach or Princess Daisy. Like what? I thought they were the same person for a long time. I guess they're not.
Apparently, Daisy is Luigi's princess, and Peach is Mario's princess.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's what I've heard. I don't know. Did you find anything about Koopa and Bowser being anybody?
I did. So, because I was confused about that. We talked about that kind of offline during the break. So, because King Koopa, especially in the show, looks very different than Bowser.
Yeah.
And even the main antagonist of the first one is, I guess, kind of a mix between them. But no, Bowser is King Koopa.
Okay. So is it Bowser Koopa?
No,
Bowser
so
Koopa?
it's actually Bowser, King of the Koopa.
Oh.
In Japan, his title is actually Daimo, if I'm saying that right, which means great Demon King, which is amazing.
Ooh.
I wish that stuck.
So much better.
But yeah, it is. He's king of the Koopa. The Koopa Troopa follow him.
Got it. Got it. Well,
Also, marvelously portrayed by Dennis Hopper in the movie.
You mean Donald Trump?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God. That was Harvey. I wanted to give a shout out to. Shout out. I don't know why. Who's listening?
Video game character.
Yeah. King Koopa in the the cartoons was played by Harvey Atkin, and he actually just died this year in July, and he was Koopa in all 3 of the cartoon series.
Oh, I did like that voice.
That was like iconic to my childhood. I think I do remember him being in a lot of different things. Actually, that guy was a talented voiceover guy.
Well, thanks for staining AJ's brain, Harvey. We miss you.
I'll take it. Man.
Any other weird fan theories that you came across in your research?
There is one that's kind of odd. Donkey Kong killed Mario and Luigi's father.
Oh God!
I love that one.
So this is a Batman situation,
basically, and that's he's coming back. Apparently, Jumpman was a character in Donkey Kong Jr., and people suspect because he looks so similar to Mario. Not necessarily Luigi, but I guess so. Because are they twins? We don't know. Clearly not in the movie. Jumpman is Mario and Luigi's dad, and and at the end, Donkey Kong Jr. is actually the protagonist. Jumpman is the antagonist, and he kills him at the end. So that's entirely possible. Final one. There was a third Mario brother. Interesting.
Do tell.
Intrigued? It's Dr. Mario.
Lopez.
Oh, there you go. Damn, that was a better joke than mine. Dr. Mario is supposedly the third Mario brother because these other guys are plumbers. They didn't go back to school and get another. They didn't get a PhD, for God's sake.
He's the hated brother that mom always favored.
Well, do you ever? Well, do you ever see Luigi hanging out with Dr. Mario? No, because nobody wants to be with him. He's just playing with his drugs, poisoning people, I'm assuming. No, he's curing diseases. It's fine. But he's always well, he kills those diseases that's how you play the game, right? I don't know. It's been so long since I played Dr. Mario.
It's pretty much just shitty Tetris.
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's tough though. It's fun. It's good.
I did hear one other fan theory about the new Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, yeah, please.
And that's I don't know how much you know about it, but Mario's
changes hats, right?
Yeah, it's alive. I think it's named Cappy. But the theory is
worked really hard on that one.
The theory is that Cappy is the real hero, and the reason why Mario has done all the actions that he's been set off to do.
Yeah.
And that Mario is just kind of his host and kind of held against his will by this parasite, basically.
Holy crap! Like the brain slugs from Futurama.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
well,
pretty much.
That's really weird because I saw a trailer for Odyssey and I saw him like throwing the cap at other things. I think he throws it at an enemy or he throws it at a dinosaur or something like that. And I thought he was mind controlling them with the cap. But hearing
it's
that,
all the cap.
that's
there's not much left of Mario's
scary.
Original brain because he got him when he was really young, pre mustache, I believe.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you look at Yoshi's Island, that is exactly what happened. He's born with the hat.
Yes.
So that's very weird. So does Luigi have the same thing? But it's no. Like no.
Luigi's
that's
the
just a regular hat.
He's an idiot. He doesn't know what's going on.
Fair enough. I mean, as long as it's as he's not suffering, that's good. That's very good.
As long as Luigi's not suffering.
Yeah, exactly. I like that guy. He seems like a laid back dude compared to Mario. Mario seems a bit, especially in the TV show, he seems a bit more high strung. Luigi has all the kind of answers. Mario's like, don't touch my pizza, you slob.
That's my
Wasn't it?
favorite line from the show.
It's when the
So,
first. Oh, and I just want to mention to everybody who hasn't watched the show, you should go watch it just for the opening rap.
oh god, yeah,
That
everything had to have a rap in the '90s.
Oh yeah, I just watched Monster Squad, and at the end I was like, man, that was a good movie. I'm glad I watched that again. And I mean, it's hokey and whatever, but then the rap started at the beginning. And I was like, oh my god, this happened way before Will Smith started doing it at the end of his movies.
Did you turn your hat sideways when the rap came on? So how we score on this one, guy?
Oh, this is I think 9.5 out of. Oh well. Oh wait. God damn, now I have to.
As a whole, yeah.
As a whole.
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
it just feels like the video game is so universal and the movie is just a slight stain on the horrible. Okay.
All right, let's do
all
them
right.
separate.
No,
Let's do them
no,
separate.
we can work with this. I got
No,
this.
because you're right. It's unfair.
All right. For the game series in general, that's going to get 9.5 trippy mushrooms out of 10. I'm going to give the cartoon like a decent 7. I'm going to give it a 7 because it's goofy, it's weird, but it was for the time, and it really it kind of weirdly held up. I was more satisfied than even back then, maybe. I might have been more freaked out by it then than I am now. I liked that. And the movie is a tragic 2 tiny bombs.
Dude, that is almost exactly what I wrote down. I definitely gave the game series a solid 9. Yoshi Poots.
Yay!
The TV show I gave a solid 7 because I was surprised how well it held up.
Yeah.
Plus, there's rapping in it, so I give that 7 cappies turned to the side.
Ooh, spooky Cappies. I don't like Cappy now.
I know.
Jesus. And
Cappy.
and for the movie,
And for the movie, I give it 2 hanging fungus balls that were formerly the king of Mushroom City. God, awful! I hate every word that I just said. I hate that movie so much. I'm not even glad that the movie happened. Like, just so I could say well, they tried to make a Mario movie. It really was like kind of the start of bad video game movies.
unneeded,
here's
unnecessary.
Here's the mark. Here's the stain. Shoot for that.
Oh, also the guy who turns into the king is Lance Henriksen. Henriksen, I guess, and
yes.
he was the guy from Millennium.
He's also the android in Aliens movies.
Oh God, yes, you're absolutely right. Yep. So that, and man, I love those plumbers. What a great one line that you got to say.
One line. Yeah, but he got to be fungus,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, that's
Hopefully he did the mocap for it.
that's a pretty easy gig, just sitting back. Boy, but the time in the makeup chair was horrendous. It was about 3 weeks long.
They just give it to the guy who does Smeagol.
Andy Circus can be.
Yeah, he's
Andy Circus is everything.
he is everything.
Masters.
Oh, crap.
Well,
Okay, well,
so that was boy, I did not think we were going to be able to get through that. That was I could have talked about Mario and Luigi for a long time. I really could.
Yeah, me too. Probably less about Luigi because
he's the same freaking guy.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, I was getting the fungus
Podcast
out.
is killing you.
I was getting the fungus out. Oh yeah, gotta get it out. Well,
Mario and Luigi.
Thank you all for listening to our wonderful
Yeah.
podcast. All right, so that is it for Mario, and
That's all I've got.
I am tired of the Mario. But this has been out of memory for this week. Tune in next week when we will ask Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this Christopher Walken.
Oh. Or eggs. Good for you? or deadly.
And slap bracelets. Do they work around your wang?
Like around it?
I don't know. It depends on
Like work around.
the girth. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and
I've
Facebook.
always tried to go long ways with it. That's my problem.
Like a Pepsi can. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Out of Memory Pod. You can email us at outofmemory@gmail.com.
If you dare.
If you dare, we will definitely respond, and it won't be just with crying emojis from the flames that you've sent to us.
We might even read your email on the air.
Ooh, that would make you feel special.
Record it and then post it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be live because you
No.
can't do that with podcasts. I mean, you could try.
No John C. Reilly's. No, sorry, that's wrong. Phil O'Reilly. Shit.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it. Do it live.
All right, for Out of Memory, I'm AJ Hamilton.
I'm Christopher Hampson, and that's a Gorilla on Couch, and that's a pencil, that's a table, this is a microphone, and good night.
Good night.